Absolutely 100%.
And everyone should use nukes every game just because.
No.
Even though it's not effective.
Sorry. That's like saying everyone should use infestors only every game as Zerg.
That is true.
Yeah, you're actually right. That is true.
As a Zerg player, I condone this. And now, Lazy taking that perfect position on Lost Temple, right at the edge of this high ground. That way you can see anything coming in, get a couple of free hits on them before they even get to your ramp. But, you know, if you play Starcraft, you know that, so...
And wow, the army's dead even right now. 37 supply to 37 supply.
And now we are going, a factory coming down for Naive, and at the same time, his command center expansion. And I wonder, on this map, since we do have these islands over here, if he's going to go directly for his natural expansion, or going to be trying to hide it away.
You know, it's a shame that I really don't see Terrans go for that island expansion because it's really so easy for them, especially with their ability to lift off their command centers. How often do you see Terrans build a command center in the main and then float it to the natural? Well, it's only such a short distance further to one of those islands. I think it should be used in the same way that it's used on a map like Kulos Ravine, where you often see Terrans floating their command center to the high ground expansion that's walled in with destructible rocks.
Good point, and I'm going to get off it because I like APM, and I just like seeing players with over 100 APM just going crazy. They're just, and no battles happening, so this is all just APM for their macro game, which I just love to see.
That is really impressive. You really see them working hard on building up. But because APM is such a hotbed issue, we're going to stay away from that, actually. And we're just going to watch how good these players are.
Yeah, okay, so now we have Blink being researched for Lazy, as well as Stim finally going down for the Terran player. We do have a majority of Stalkers here, so Blink will be key to getting into, especially since there's so much room here to blink up, especially when the Terran army is caught off guard.
But he is going to need something to spot from either observers or those Void Rays in order to blink those Stalkers up, and he does not have the robotics facility yet. So he's still quite a ways off intact from the ability to really harass with those Stalkers and blink.
But we do see a small force moving out for the Terran player with 2 ghosts. So those 2 ghosts really turn this small force into a dangerous, devastating force. Because you get 2 EMPs off on the Protoss army, and the rest will just clean up so quickly. So
Absolutely.
I'm intrigued to see what happens.
You really have to think of EMP as a little mini Psystorm for the Terran army versus the Protoss. And right now, with even supply armies, 58 to 56, those EMPs are just going to...
Oh, 1 EMP, 2 EMPs, and all those shields down. Look at that. And this Protoss army...
really see that... Now, it's funny here how awesome Zealots are.
Yeah.
Because even with that incredible EMP, which really did destroy all the shields on the Protoss
those
forces,
Zealots got up front and were able to take down those Marines so quickly. I actually cannot believe how quickly those Marines and Marauders fell.
Zealots are so strong, especially once they have their leg speed upgrade, which those Zealots do.
This is awesome. Live casts in these games.
I know. This is exciting. This is our first ever live cast.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here with us. We'll always remember this is like our first time.
Exactly. Wow. It hurts, though.
It hurts. It's kind of like prom night.
I'm bleeding. I'm wearing white pants and I'm bleeding.
Too much.
Okay, sorry. We do have Hellions out on the map, and as we all know, Hellions, especially with the Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade, can be
being researched.
Devastating to Zealots.
Absolutely, but simultaneously, the Protoss is researching Psionic Storm.
Ooh.
Or Psionic Storm, if you can actually speak English. And that's going to help him tremendously because the Terran is still on infantry units, and those High Templar will be able to storm the infantry to death.
But we do have infantry weapons level 1 also coming for Terran as well. So, just with Terran in general, an upgraded Marine is still the scariest thing ever to me. I know there's so many units that are just like those game-winning units, but an upgraded Terran force is, I don't know, when I play games, I
totally agree with you, because upgraded Marines is not 1 upgraded Marine, it's 27 upgraded Marines.
Exactly.
And that's scary as hell. I can completely agree. Now, however, I do want to say how much I love this dynamic in Terran versus Protoss. I love when I see this is High Templar versus Ghosts. It just makes me so excited inside.
And that EMP will drain their energy,
right?
Correct?
But the High Templar's feedback ability can kill the ghosts in one shot. So it really becomes this psionic duel between the ghosts and the High Templar. Let's see what happens here. Let's see who's able to get their ability off first, the EMP or the psionic storm of the High Templar.
Charge research for the Zealots, and these
there's
storms
the
going
storm.
off. Oh my god,
that's going to be brutal, and that's not where we want to be. But that was so brutal. Look at all the. There's nothing left for the Terran player. All of his units are in orange or yellow health. That was devastating, and the High Templar now becoming a Archon.
It's energy being used up and turning right to an Archon.
One thing for those of you who are new to StarCraft 2, Archons have 350 points of shield HP. And EMPs from Ghosts actually don't drain all shield. They only do 100 shield damage. So an EMP cannot completely kill an Archon as it could in StarCraft 1 anymore. So they're not completely useless against Terran anymore.
And now Siege tech is being researched, as well as tanks are coming out, most likely to defend right at this cliff, because he does not want this expansion to go down.
Right.
Both players, however, seem to be at pretty even econ, with the Terran player slightly ahead, obviously because of all those mules. A missile turret going right at the ramp to try to hopefully choke off anything that comes in, as well as, I mean... Really, I don't even know exactly
why that's being built,
because there's no Void Rays on the map at this point, and there are no Dark Templar. But, you know, I guess he's ready for anything. But the Planetary Fortress here with the missile turret will help defend against any kind of push at this point.
Yeah, he's really being super defensive and you know, trying to leverage some advantage from his two bases. His main, how are the mains on minerals? Are they almost mined out, or are they still... up and running at 100%. They still have a little bit of a ways to go.
Yeah, it's pretty even for both. But we do have more Void Rays coming out on the map.
As well as Hallucination being researched and the Kaidaran Amulet.
Which gives High Templar more energy overall.
When they get warped in only.
Yeah. Oh, so we do have a Void Ray targeting this Planetary Fortress. These Marines trying to focus
fire. But the Charge Zealots running in from the bottom, engaging the Zealots, getting the Marines and Warriors in close quarters, and I think the Terran siege tanks are going to...
Oh, perfect storm!
Nice storm as you retreat. That's an awesome use of storm, just securing his retreat. So that was a nice little engagement. Neither side, I think, really came out of that victorious.
I feel like the Protoss might have come a little bit, but we do have these medevacs here to heal up all the stormed units, though I do think he lost a few, and it seems he did have that missile turret stop production because that SCV was killed, and hopefully he rebuilds that quickly, because any more Void Ray harassment could be very, very detrimental.
And we can see that there are at least one more Void Ray on the map, and another one being produced as we speak. So the Protoss is doing exactly what I hoped he would do, which is Lazy came down and he's now thinking economically. He realizes that the Terran is really, you know, forcing himself to be defensive, and therefore he has a perfect opportunity to come here and take his gold minerals and get up a base on the Terran. That's a beautiful decision making.
We do have a robotics facility going down for Lazy, as well as a ton of 3 more gateways, which will bring us to a total of 7. Forge going down to get those upgrades for all those ground units. But now we do have a command center floating to that island. Yeah. So both players are thinking very economically right now.
So we are going to see that island taken. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool choice for a third base on this map, especially if you're playing with siege tanks, which force you to be a little bit less mobile and rely a little bit more on your cliffs until you build up a large
this
force.
Void Ray peeking in here trying to get any free kills in this tank, but these Marines coming in to make sure it goes back. It will not get any free kills. This Void Ray on the map makes me a little nervous, though, for the Terran player, of just if he decides to go scout for a little while, he can easily take this expansion down. Hopefully Naive builds. Sometimes you'll see Terran players build a whole bunch of missile turrets all around here to lock themselves in.
But we do have the Terran...
And there we go. Missile turrets going everywhere. It's his #1 priority. Protect this second expansion.
We do have the Terran with a sensor tower. So it's very wise of Lazy to keep right outside of the range of that sensor tower. But I guess Terran is able to see a little bit of his units within the ring of the sensor tower and know exactly where to scan him, because he does know exactly where to scan him. And one thing I just want to say now that's really exciting me, I'm about to have a complete word I don't want to say, but the Protoss is building a fleet beacon.
Oh my god, are we going to see motherships
or
my carriers?
Beating heart, I don't know, but either way, it's going to be awesome. Fleet beacon can only mean motherships or carriers, maybe both, and that just makes me so excited.
Oh, these Void Rays seeing this expansion, but being
they are
pushed
dead
back
Void
by
Rays.
the turrets.
They are both not both going to die, but one is
dead.
definitely going to die.
And now just look at this. All of these missile turrets.
That's a little bit excessive on missile turrets, actually.
But it really is the one thing protecting this expansion, because there's no way units can get there. He needs to be able to push back any kind of
I think it's pretty well
warp prism or void ray attack.
I think it's pretty well defended as is. And honestly, I'm starting to feel that Terran needs to start being aggressive, or he's going to lose this game by giving the Protoss full map control. Really, the Terran isn't doing anything right now too aggressive. He does have a lead in supply, but he is really, his army is starting to fall behind. He's being really passive, and I really need to see him start to move out a little bit and score a decisive victory at some point, because it seems like the Protoss is just starting to pick up more and more momentum.
Yeah, especially with that gold mineral going down right now, he's going to get the slight edge economically.
Right, and also, especially more than anything else, I think, with those High Templar, other race players are very easily underestimate High Templar, and we'll see right here how powerful they really are.
Oh my god, EMP's going down everywhere. We're going to see some storms, or 1 storm, 2 storm, 3 storms,
and
4 storms,
now
5
we will
storms.
really see how quickly those storms
God.
decimate the Terran army. You really need to be cautious of High Templar, and find a way to engage them before you can build up too many, because look, that army, the Terran army was just obliterated by those Psi storms.
I cannot believe what we just saw. Psi storms killing everything, but these tanks, luckily here, getting all these shots on this Protoss army.
Protoss needs to retreat immediately, because he's not going to get these forces anywhere except dead.
Dear God, this game is so good.
Yeah, this is really good.
These guys really want this powerful, whatever, $2,000 computer that whoever wins this match right here will win.
It's an awesome. It's an awesome computer. I would want to i5 Intel processor and 8 gigabytes.
We could
of RAM.
live stream so much better if we had that.
I know,
so maybe
we really could.
Win.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should have. Maybe we should have our own tournament for an Intel i5 computer.
Get some sponsors.
Get some sponsors, man.
But seriously, it's great to see this match really be so good, because the beginning of this tournament, it was a little bit shaky. Just players of all skill levels being a little bit unequally matched at points, but it really worked out great in the end.
It has funneled down
as
tournaments are intended to. It has funneled down to 2 really awesome players, and I'm so excited to be casting this. This is one of the most enjoyable times I've had casting StarCraft in recent memory, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, negative sons. Yeah. All right, so the question is, what next?
And we do have those carriers having been produced for the Protoss player. I'm guessing that's what he was working on, was making some carriers, and he's building some more as we speak. So carriers reinforcing the Protoss army. I would love to see him build the mothership. To be honest with you, like, I've played a couple of free-for-alls where I've built only carriers, and I've played a couple where I've built only void rays, and really void rays pound for pound are much stronger, in my opinion, at this point than carriers. I would really love to see like an army full of void rays and some motherships, but we get what we get,
But this army, the supply count so close, 116 for Lazy and 122 for Naive. Both players just so close on this map, but we do see a drop coming from Naive. Where is it headed towards? He sees this expansion just in terrible timing.
But the expansion also is able to spot the drop coming. That's the downside of that.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're so smart.
I tried my best.
But now the drop's still going through.
The drop is continuing. Let's see how the Protoss rearranges his forces. He's pulling back all the way to protect from the potential drop.
Oh, but this gold mineral patch is undefended.
Mineral expansion, and
But the carrier's coming out.
Here come the carriers.
Oh, the carriers are revealed now.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a good move, revealing your carrier hand that early. But it does push back this drop so quickly. Lazy only losing really a few moments of
mining time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not going to set him back too much, considering how long he's had that gold mineral expansion. However, I do think that the Protoss should start to think about taking a possible 4th base, because it is getting a little late in the game, and he does want to make sure he cements his lead on top of the Terran. The Terran being very passive, not being able to build up to a high supply count, and Protoss getting up to 175 food.
No, 100. What? 137, dude.
Oh.
No, 136.
100,
it's actually even. 137 to 137.
137 to 142 now. But
Protoss going Lazy going for that expansion again. Just as you said, he could hear you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if he definitely can hear me, because that would be time travel. But he does play Protoss, so maybe he does have time travel. I don't know.
Maybe he does.
We'll see.
These unit counts getting so high that even my computer's starting to get a little laggy with the live stream and this going on at the same time. Wow, this is so great. Drop.
Lag, so good.
Dropship, what are they doing? They're going for a tour around the Terran's base. They just want to have a little travel cruise, increase the morale.
Yeah.